How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at my newest Dollar Tree movie haul. I have 10 things to take a look at today. They're all DVDs, unfortunately no Blu-rays that I wanted to pick up this time around, but some pretty interesting stuff. Pretty glad to find it. And that being said, this is part number 27, so I've done quite a few of these. At the end of the video, a playlist will pop up. You can click on that playlist and see them all the hauls that I've done. But that being said, really quick, I want to give you guys a big thank you. This is the most successful series on my channel, and that's all because of you guys. So really big thank you to everyone who's watching. So let's go ahead and dive right in to the first one. This one I was really glad to find, Stakeland 2. The first Stakeland I saw, it was quite a bit ago, and I remember thinking it was pretty good. The Stakeland and Stakeland 2 are one of those ones that whenever I saw them at used movie stores would always be a little bit more on the expensive side. So seeing Stakeland 2 here and being able to pick that up, that's pretty fun, and I was glad to be able to do this. This is from Raven Banner and Dark Sky Films, two companies that put out quite a bit of pretty good stuff. So this one, it looks like it's about the guy, he got to New Eden at the end of the last one. This is set during a vampire apocalypse, and there's also a bunch of crazy cultists running around, and his new home is destroyed, and he has to go and find his old master again. So pretty cool. It's one of those, tough old guy and young kid type duos there. So a really interesting story, and I really liked the first one. I thought it was pretty good. So interesting to see what they're going to do with the second. Up next, one that I'm really glad to find. This is a horror double feature, two Asian films. I really do like Asian horror. I need to cover it a lot more on here. But we got Pulse, aka Cairo, and Sick Nurses. Now, I already had a copy of Pulse. Pulse is a very, very good movie. It's about these ghosts that are kind of trapped in the internet, and they are kind of making people like isolated and depressed. There is a remake of it, but don't watch the American remake. It's not near as good as the original. The original I remember being very dark and creepy. It's been a couple years since I watched it, so I need to do a rewatch. Now, this other one I hadn't have heard of before, so this is really why I'm picking it up, because I already had Pulse. But this other film, getting this for $1, Sick Nurses. It talks about there's a hospital, a doctor, and a bunch of nurses that are harvesting organs when one of the nurses falls in love with the doctor and says, we need to go clean, we need to stop the organ harvesting, let's just live a happy life. So they all kill her, but her ghost comes back for revenge and to try to stop all the crime at the hospital too. So that's an interesting concept, a hospital ghost slasher of some sort. I'm really curious to see how it goes. These are both on one disc. I was hoping kind of for individual disc, but oh well, they can probably fit the two movies on there fine. I'll have to see what the resolution looks like though, but really interesting to see Sick Nurses, and like I said, I already had Pulse. I've seen it. It's a great movie. Moving along, we have R.L. Stine's Mostly Ghostly. Now, R.L. Stine is one of those writers that I respect, but I haven't read too much of his work. I just didn't really have the chance when I was younger. Right now on Netflix, the Fear Street movies are coming out, and I just saw part 2, which was actually pretty good, a significant step up from part 1, and I saw another R.L. Stine thing in the Dollar Tree, and I'm like, hey, maybe I should check this out. I know it's not R-rated like Fear Street is, but hey, maybe see what's up. But it talks about how this 11-year-old can see ghosts, and the ghost want him to help him figure out why their parents disappeared, and apparently they also need help to vanquish some sort of evil ghoul. And in turn, they'll help him out with his social life at school so he can impress this girl he likes. So, kind of a wacky concept there. I'm wondering how scary it is, or if it's just going to be a straight-up comedy. Sounds pretty comedic there, but I'll see what's up with this one. Maybe watch a bunch of R.L. Stine stuff. I don't know. Anyway, up next, here's an interesting one: Truth or Dare, but it's not that Truth or Dare. It's not the Blumhouse one. Do the Dare or the Dare Does You. Now this one, 2017 it looks like from the back of the box. Now I don't know if this is a mockbuster or if they just so happen to be making a Truth or Dare movie and it got a bigger push because of the Blumhouse film. But it's kind of funny they can have the same name. I guess it is a public domain name, but the skull with the dares flying out of it. Flip it to the back. It talks about how 8 friends are going to a haunted rental house for Halloween weekend. So this is actually a Halloween movie. And they start playing Truth or Dare, but the stakes get way too high, and a mysterious force is controlling the game and making it really bloody and crazy. So I'm curious to see how this pans out, curious to compare it to the Blumhouse one everybody knows, and also, hey, a Halloween movie. I'm always looking to add Halloween movies to the collection. There's the disc, a simple red with silver lettering, and I'm curious to see how that one's going to pan out. Moving right along, we have Zombie Massacre 2, Reich of the Dead. They're hungry for war, and you get the head on the pike, glowing red eyes, and all the zombies around him. I have not picked up Zombie Massacre 1. I'll have to keep an eye out for it, but I have such a huge zombie collection that I grab up a bunch of zombie movies pretty much whenever I see them for really cheap. So if the Dollar Tree has a zombie movie, I'll usually pick it up. Talks about how on the back it's set during World War II, and the Nazis have found a way to make zombies, and they have like 1 day to escape or join the evil Nazi zombie army. So Nazi zombies, kind of a popular subgenre right now. The little head is on the spine as well. I really do like that. Moving right along to, ironically, another World War II movie, Werewolves of the Third Reich. Half werewolf, half Nazi, total terror. So, boy, there are a lot of World War II horror movies, but it talks about how a ragtag group of American soldiers known as the Fearless Four are going to a military prison when they're ambushed by Nazis. Now, I'm not sure they're going to a military prison, but the Nazis are attacking them on the way to prison. I'm not really sure what's up with that. I guess I'll have to find out when we watch the movie there. But it talks about how they get out and they find the nearest Nazi experiment camp, and Dr. Mengele is mixing wolf DNA and human DNA to make werewolves, and they have to stop this to keep Hitler from winning World War II. And on the inside is a picture from the front there. So, you know, you get a ton of Nazi zombies. Here's a World War II werewolf zombie movie. Kind of reminds me a little bit of... there was an episode of Creepshow that was World War II and werewolves, but the situation was different in that episode. But kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Up next, here's one I had seen around for quite a bit at stores like Big Lots and stuff, and it was going for like, you know, $3.74 or something at Big Lots, but here, got it for just $1. This is Bring Me the Head of the Machine Gun Woman, and you got her on the front with her double guns there, you know, the two off to each side. They came for her head, she cut them to pieces. Flip it to the back, and it talks about how there's this guy working for a mob boss, and he overhears the boss talking about wanting to kill this mercenary, and because he heard that, the boss forces him to go and find her, and they said that he's a video game nerd, and the real world starts to become a lot like a video game when he's looking for her. So that's pretty interesting, but looks like a crazy over-the-top action movie, and I really do love just over-the-top insane movies, and with a title like that, it's gotta be something pretty out there, right? So looking forward to that one. So that's Bring Me the Head of the Machine Gun Woman, and we have 3 left today. Up next is Bone Jangles. When bones rattle, blood will flow, and we get a cool skeleton mask face up here at the front. Talks about on the back how they're transporting the serial killer Bone Jangles to an asylum when their car crashes and they wind up in a town full of demons and zombies, and they're overrun and going to die, so they have to team up with Bone Jangles to escape the evil supernatural threat. So kind of a weird, we have to team up with the serial killer against the zombie army type deal. That sounds like a really fun concept, the uneasy ally type thing. I'm really looking forward to this. Plus, that fun name, you know, the Bones Jangle, I guess. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Bone Jangles, cool cover with the face there. Moving right along, only 2 things left. Deadsight, They'll Never See Them Coming. And flip it to the back, and it talks about how there's a female cop, and she's pregnant, and it's her last day before she goes on maternity leave. And on the last day, the zombie apocalypse breaks out, and she's trying to survive and get to safety, and she meets this guy that's pretty much blind that she has to escort around. So kind of a cool concept there, you know. She's having the baby, she's trying to save this blind guy, she's trying to get to safety all on her last day of work. A pretty cool thing there. And hey, another zombie movie. How many zombie movies did I pick up this time? So Deadsight looks pretty cool. Like I said, always down for a zombie movie, and it sounds like they have a lot of work ahead of them with all those situations, you know. So moving on to the last one, well, not really one thing, because this is a multi-pack. I managed to pick up the Paranormal Collection. I've heard a few people mention this, that they saw it at Dollar Tree, and I was glad to finally find it at my Dollar Tree. Paranormal Collection, 9 features, and you see the house all smashed up and the ghostly face above it, but this thing, over 13 hours from Icko Bridge there, and we get all these movies on the back. So we have Forever Mine, Little Shop of Horrors, the original one from Roger Corman. They're a black and white classic, not the musical. Memory, Jekyll and Hyde, The Legend of Sorrow Creek, 7 Nights of Darkness, Empty Rooms, Descendant, and 967 Evil 2, the sequel to the movie directed by Robert Englund. So lots of cool stuff there. Now, this is kind of smashed onto only 2 discs, so here's the first disc, and here's the second. I'm glad they at least wrote the names on the front. I've seen a few where they didn't. That being said, 5 movies on the second disc there. That is a lot, but, you know, I've seen a lot on some of these collections before, and they haven't been too terrible, so I'll have to pop that in and see what the resolution's like. But seems like a bunch of cool movies there, so glad to pick that up and take a look at that. And hey, 967 Evil 2, probably the biggest movie on there, and glad to snatch that one up. Although, if the resolution's not good, I might pick up a single issue of that one. Anyway, we have 10 DVDs here, but this is a double pack, and this is 9, so add on 9 additional movies, so we really have 19 things here, which is pretty crazy. 19 movies, a pretty good haul. Primarily this thing, though. So lots of cool, fun stuff. Really, really cool. I'm glad to pick all these up, and hey, just $10 for all this stuff. That's great. Adding a lot to the collections. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You're really helping the channel out. I'll put a relevant playlist on the bottom. Should have my Dollar Tree hauls in it, so if you want to see more of my Dollar Tree hauls, you can go to that playlist and find them there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.